We're about to embark on an illuminating journey beyond the foundational aspects of digital public infrastructure. Our next panel discussion shines a spotlight on the vast potential of DPA halls for enabling diverse use cases, particularly within the vibrant startup ecosystem. Please join me in welcoming Honorable Dr. Harsha Silva, Member of the Parliament of Sri Lanka, to make the opening remarks to the panel discussion on unlocking the digital stack.
Thank you. Good day. So if you all take our seats, we can start and hopefully finish on time. His Excellency, the High Commissioner of India to Sri Lanka, my dear friend Santosh Jha, Honorable State Minister, Honorable Members of Parliament, distinguished invitees from India and Sri Lanka. Nimalka, a young woman emergency medical technician of a 1990 suwa ambulance, pulls out the automatically unfolding stretcher on which Somavira, 60 years of age, is lying barely conscious at the National Hospital of Sri Lanka with severe bleeding and multiple other complications upon a three-wheeler accident in Kiribati. A bunch of tubes are connected to him and a portable monitor lies by his side. A team of doctors are ready for Somavira's management. They arrive in 8 minutes and 50 seconds on the dot as per the data captured on the ETA screen. ETA screen is estimate time of arrival screen. At the ETU, that is the emergency unit, which was populated dynamically with critical information related to the incident, as such became available via the EPCR, that is the Electronic Patient Care Report. In fact, most of the information was automatically captured via the connected machines and multiple onboard cameras. They were concerned with his vitals. His blood pressure was very high and pulse was low. Not only current data, but the doctors also knew Somavira's medical history, his exact medical condition, that he was a diabetic and was on insulin, that he also had a heart attack when he was 45 years, and the medication he was on. They also knew he was allergic to a common antibiotic. This information was critical. The surgical team had time to prepare for the specific emergency and subsequent surgery. What amazed most was that the relevant parts of the video communication between Suren, the emergency doctor at Suwa Command and Control at Rajagiriya, and Nimalka, the EMT, was already shared with the team at the National Hospital to clear some doubts. This was possible because it was a connected ambulance, meaning Nimalka wore a helmet with HoloLens technology that allowed Suren to observe and advise her all the way from initial intervention through the ride, given the complex nature of the incident. Now, did I make up this story? Well, actually, 1990 suwa is highly technologically advanced. Almost all what I said is true. I said almost. But before I continue, let me take a moment to thank the people of India whose 23 million US dollar grant, not a loan, a grant, that helped us start this service, as basic as it was in 2016 to 2019, to winning, according to the World Bank, or rather according to the World Bank, which is now one of the most advanced ambulance services in the world. In fact, most of the audience may not know that 1990 launched a few units with state-of-the-art AI-powered mixed reality connected ambulances last December. That is what I was talking about, the HoloLens. The first of the estimated time of arrival screens has been set up at the NHSL. It is the first of 100 screens in 100 hospitals project that will be launched hopefully in a matter of weeks. But one important part of the story I made up. That is that the team at NHSL knew Somavira's medical history. They didn't have that information. This is a major shortfall. This is what this session is about. This is where the seamless service delivery got stuck. We may have the most advanced ambulance to bring the patient, but if the doctors are not aware of exactly his medical condition, it may take the doctors time to understand, study, look for his medical records, and start managing that patient. So tech people explain DPI using terms that most like myself won't understand. They will incorporate technology that seem unreal. The systems will later, the systems that they talk about, let data zip through pipes at speed of light and run all kinds of algorithms, as wonderfully explained by Pramod earlier this morning. But at the end of the day, what matters is Somavira, not your DPI, not your API, not your unique ID, not anything but Somavira. Can we save his life? So I was asked to briefly speak on the potential power of DPI to drive innovation ecosystems by enabling use cases, combining technology, markets, governance with reference to Sri Lanka. So that is why my example. From a simple policy perspective, unlocking the digital stack to me means the opportunity for innovation in a systematic manner on a free or almost free, privacy-protected flow of information. That is how I see it. You tech guys may see it in different tech ways, but as a policy guy, that's how I see it. I like the New Delhi definition of DPI, a set of shared digital systems that are secure and interoperable, built on open technologies to deliver equitable access to public and or private services at a societal scale. It's simple, it's crisp, it conveys the message. Well, the internet and GPS, I suppose, are the foundation of digital public goods. They are non-excludable and non-rival from an economist perspective, but I must say to the extent, based on the capacity of the pipes, sometimes internet becomes very slow, at least in this country. Well, I guess the US government spent billions to develop that public infrastructure, or that infrastructure which is now public. How each country incentivizes their tech communities to develop applications to achieve their own development objectives would depend on government policy based on their own national needs. Ours may be different to India's. I was just talking during the tea break that we are already much banked. When India started, India was 20% banked according to Pramod. right? But that is not our case. So what is our need? What is our priority? Technology capabilities. We heard here our capabilities are as good, if not better, than anyone else around the world. Then societal structures. Now there, I must admit that somehow we seem to be much slower in adapting technology. We don't seem, even at a policy level, wanting to be transparent, help private enterprise build on public infrastructure. There seems to be some reason why things are not moving. I'll come to that. But for Sri Lanka, the example of suwa, seriya provides more than a basic structure of how high-quality emergency healthcare services can be provided through digital innovation on public goods. At a very basic level. But as I mentioned, the story is not complete. There is a huge hole that needs to be plugged. Right? What is stopping the exchange of data of Somavira's medical records from various hospitals he has been treated in the past? Besides the fact that we still do not collect and store medical data on an accepted structure, it is because Sri Lanka lacks the basic elements to create an appropriate DPI. So the three critical pieces, as we heard, identification, proving who you are. And Aadhaar is only doing that. It doesn't do anything else. Are you Harsha de Silva? Yes, you are Harsha de Silva. Then second, transfer of value. In the case of UPI, secure financial transactions empowering hundreds of millions. Now here, I am pretty convinced we have a fairly well-developed structure of Lanka Pay, etc. And third, the consent-based data exchange. Right? We were just chatting at tea about the DigiLocker, how all the records are stored with consent to be given by the individual who owns the data, right, to exchange that data. So, you see, that is the model that India is taking. Personally, I'm in favor of the Indian model, as opposed to the US or the Western model, where the government takes the lead to create the basic infrastructure, decentralized, like we heard earlier, open loop, interoperable, and societal. I don't think we need to reinvent the wheel. And here, you will say, well, where's the money? But if you look at UPI, or if you look at Lanka Pay, it is not the government's money that created these agencies. I think UPI is owned by like 50 banks or something. So is Lanka Pay. Everybody has a gain. It's Pareto optimal to do it. The transaction will bring benefits to both sides. Right? So it is imperative and I'm going to stress, immediately embark on establishing the main building blocks of a DPI so that we can unlock the potential digital stack. Right? Not just to fill the hole in Somavira's story, but to create millions of others equally compelling stories. See, the point to note is these things are not as sexy as the fintech we saw, because those can be monetized and startups can make millions fairly quickly. But health applications, education applications, agriculture applications are much more complex than the ones that we saw, right? But that is the need. So, I hope the two countries will soon be able to resolve the issue to get started with building the, whatever it is called, Aadhaar-like unique ID that we keep talking about for years. And I recall when Mangala Samaravira departed once called me and said, Harsha, I want you to help these guys on the Aadhaar-like or unique ID. We called Mr. Nandan Nilekani, and because Mangala told me, look, in a week I want your report. And he was out of town. He said, you gentlemen, please come. I will ask the CEO to explain everything. Myself, Harin Fernando, Mrs. Mubarak, ICTA folk, we all got on a plane and went to Delhi. In the morning, came back in the evening, all excited. Nothing happened after that. Wanted to have some card. Card is unnecessary. I once asked a tuk-tuk guy, where's your Aadhaar card? He said, what card, sir? If I want, I can print it and carry it around my neck, but I don't need it. Why do you need a card? Why do you need to spend billions for it? You don't. Right? So, then came the October coup, then came the Easter attack, then came the change, then came the crisis, now we are here. We heard the president say that we need to create a digital Sri Lanka. Stop talking about 300 projects. Focus on one project. Focus on getting the unique ID done. That is what is going to unlock the digital stack. Try to understand this. I'm embarrassed to sit here and listen to stuff that is being spoken about without speaking to the point. Now, why is it stuck? Is it corruption? Or is it somebody else wants power? What is it? Why is it not moving? Why? Ask the question, why? Or is it some people don't want transparency? Or somebody wants to make $1 million? Look, we are so far behind India. We are embarrassingly behind India. Let us be honest. We need to catch up. And here is a hand extended to us. Let's take it. Let's not wait one more day to do this. Right? You got me to speak, and I'm speaking. Right? The mic is mine. Right? And this is the truth. So therefore, let's move this along. After we get the main job done, then we worry about what needs to happen, the security, the interoperability, inclusion, building trust, dealing with negative consequences. All that needs to happen. But all those things are actually is a dream unless and until we get the ball rolling. So in conclusion, let's learn from India, right? Listen to Nandan Nilekani when he says, well, India is going to be data rich because before it's going to be money rich. And let's use that. And there will be a day that once this ecosystem is in place, your data can earn you money. Somebody is going to take your data and use it for their purpose, which is also your purpose. And in that process, you monetize your data. Now, I heard X is also going to monetize content. It can happen. It will happen. You have to think out of the box and not be restricted to some AR and FR, some 30 projects or 500 projects. Right? So, what we have built is certainly a tech win for Sri Lanka. But in isolation and on an ad hoc basis, how much impact can it have on improving the general quality of life of average Sri Lankans? Not much. So let us hope this event and others to follow will change that situation. Somavira will have a unique ID. He will be able to say, this is me. My EMT riding with him can get his biometrics. Immediately, we know this is Somavira. Somavira will give us consent, program consent. Yes, you can access my Digi wallet, Digi card, Digi whatever you want to call it, and immediately download all my medical history so that the team of doctors is ready to save my life. Think about it. Thank you very much.